Hi there, gang, and welcome to, this is episode 9, right?
We're already up to 9.
We're pushing double digits.
Yeah.
Well, not yet. This one, hopefully, if this one goes well, then we celebrate. So
We'll keep going.
the 10th anniversary, 10th show? Nope, 9th show.
We're party hats and horns. And
We're going to focus on this show. Hey, if this is the first time you have ever tuned in, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. What we are doing with OurStressFreeWedding.com is very, very simple. What we are building is a network of wedding professionals here in the state of Iowa. And it covers the surrounding areas as well. We do some, in Galena, and we do some a little bit in like Omaha and some of the surrounding areas, of course. But our main focus is right here in Iowa. And really the core of the whole thing is that there's so many places when you're planning your big day. There's so many places and resources that talk about experts, and it can become so overwhelming so quickly to everybody. I mean, I was talking to someone our guest from last week, Katie from Mojo, brought up a great point. Mojo Productions, a fantastic DJ company. If you haven't watched that show, watch it. It was episode 8. It's hard to keep track of.
9 minus 1.
There's so many, it's hard to keep track of. But one of the things that she said that I thought was really, really cool is that, instantly when you are, starting to plan your big day, you instantly have to become an expert in planning the biggest event of your life. And in most couples, 99 out of 100.
Are they really experts?
They don't know what they're doing. You don't know what you're doing, and you're not supposed to know what you're doing. And that's actually the normal part. And one of the things that I think really causes a lot of stress to, in particular brides, unfortunately, we all know who's actually making all the choices. The groom's job is to say, sure, okay, I'll get the DJ. That's their one job. I'll get the DJ. So we know what kind of stress you're going through. And you read all of these different articles from all of these different experts that are written from New York or from LA or from, all of these different places, but not here in Iowa. And they may talk about colors, and they may talk about trends, and they may talk about all the important things you need for your wedding. Here's the thing. The experts that you need, the advice that you're looking for, the way to make your day absolutely as stress-free as possible is finding the right vendors right here at home, right here in Iowa. If you work with the right experts, if you work with the right venue, with the right DJ, the right photographer, the right caterer, all of those key people, the only 3 things that you need to worry about on your big day is show up. That's important. Say I do at roughly the right time. If you want to mess with your fiance, pause. My wife did that to me. Then she giggled and said, I do, thank God. And then the third thing is just be awesome and enjoy yourselves. That's it. There's 3 things. And I know you're thinking that there's a million other things you need to do. And yes, but when you're working with the right experts, all of those other details just kind of fall away. Your day is what matters. The memories that you create on that day, going forward and celebrating the greatest day of your life is right there. That is the most important thing. And so what we've done is we've created this platform, OurStressFreeWedding.com. Go there, check it out. Take a look at the vendors that are on there, our founding vendors that are part of the platform. So what we've done is a step beyond what really every other wedding planning platform has, is that all of the vendors that you find at OurStressFreeWedding.com have been vetted, to use the kind of the tech term. We have done the research. We have looked at their reviews. We have had conversations with all of them. We have built relationships with all of them that you find on there. And we're constantly looking and researching for more. And what we're doing is we are trying to get rid of the, gosh, I hope they don't suck factor. Is the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
If you find somebody on Facebook, or you find somebody on, you go to Google and you find whatever you're looking for, your first thought is, well, that's a really pretty website. Gosh, I hope they don't suck. And you don't know, because you don't know them, and you probably don't know what questions to ask them to find out if the gosh, I hope they don't suck factor actually matters. We've been in the wedding business a long time. I've been doing this for 34 years. I have personally been involved with, it's over 10,000 weddings. I have been directly involved as a DJ in well over 1,000 myself. Andrew, you've been part of Ultimate Entertainment for 8 years.
8 seasons
right?
starting, yeah.
So, easily have been involved in a lot of weddings. We know what to look for in the venue, in your photographer, in other DJs, and there's a lot of other really great DJs out there as well. So it's not just about what we do. It's what makes your day amazing. And that's why we have this show on both platforms. So if you go to podcasts at ourstressfreewedding.com, you can see all of our shows. And there's a lot of them. This is episode 9.
Yeah.
Or if you go to ultimateentertainment.cc, you can also click on the podcast. You will find the exact same thing. You will find all of the information. You'll find all of the shows right there. We want you to be as informed as absolutely possible. It's huge. When you go to the platform at ourstressfreewedding.com and you go to our founding vendors, all you have to do, if you're not a member, you can sign up. It's free. We are not going to, spam you with tons and tons of emails. We're not going to sell your information to a bunch of different lists. It is all right here. We are focused strictly on making your day amazing. If you don't want to register with us, that's okay. We still want you to use the professionals that are on the platform, because even if you don't use the tools that Our Stress Free Wedding has, and we have got a lot of them. I mean, you can do budgeting on there. There's a communication system built into there so you can communicate with your vendors, with people in your wedding party. There's all kinds of really cool tools there. But if you've got a lot of that stuff already in place, you've got your own wedding website, you've got all that done, then that's fine. Find the vendors that you like at ourstressfreewedding.com, and you can just go to the Contact Us section. In fact, can you bring that up on the screen? Right. Yep, right there.
That one?
So if you go to the listing and you go to Contact Us, all you have to do is just fill in, it's what? 5 details. That's all you got to do. We want your wedding date, email, phone number, and of course your name. And this is going to go directly to that vendor. We're not keeping it. Again, we're not selling it. We're not going to spam you with a bunch of stuff. All that does is it tells that vendor, hey, I'm interested in learning more about what you do. It's not going to book you. It's not going to commit you. It's not going to lock you in. It just gives you an opportunity to learn more about them.
No obligation.
No obligation. Just information. That's what we're here for. We switching to DJ voices for the whole time?
I could.
So when people are planning their big day, one of the first things they book is their venue. Usually, and especially more and more now, more and more couples are using their venue for their ceremony as well. So it used to be church first, then venue, then DJ, then photographer, and everybody else kind of falls in. Now, kind of the new trend is really everything all in one spot in your venue. And there's all kinds of different venues to choose from. If you go back a couple episodes on our show, actually, you can see a great interview with the Waterloo Convention Center.
Yep.
And, if you're looking for kind of that feel, that's a great resource for you. We have got, it's Deda and Neil from Koru Berry Farms, right? Did I say it right? Because every time I say it wrong, Andrew's like, you're going to say it wrong.
Yep.
So these guys are awesome. So this is an entirely different kind of venue. You've got your hotel reception style venue, or you've got your convention style or convention building kind of style. You guys have an awesome farm style, which and it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. We've got the pictures running on the platform. Good. Okay. The last time we didn't have the pictures running. I want to make sure we've got them up there. So Deda and Neil, talk to us. Well, first of all, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you
Welcome.
very much.
We are so excited to have you guys here. And I want to learn just more about what you do. So describe to me what Koru Berry Farms is.
Absolutely. Well, first off, we want to thank you, Sean and Andrew, for having us here. Sounds like you've had a great thing going for about 8 solid episodes.
We are on a hot streak, brother. Telling you what.
Bringing in wonderful wedding professionals. Number 9, you dropped the ball by not bringing in wedding professionals, but we thank you anyway. We're just kind of here stumbling our way through this.
So this is our one-off show.
This is the one-off.
You are lying through your teeth, because I know a few things about what you guys do, and this is what I absolutely love, is that when you meet people in this industry that love what they do, you don't look at it like a job, right. And it's an experience, and what you have at the farm at Koru Berry is just so cool. So let's talk about just the kind of the basics. So let's talk the how did you get started in this to begin with?
Absolutely. Well, Koru sits on 22 acres. So we've got lots of land, and the name says Berry Farm. So as you come up to our property, as you overlook the property, you're seeing rows and rows of berries. Looks much like a California vineyard. Mowed, beautiful bushes, straight lines, that real vineyard feel. But it is.
Are they
a
real
farm.
Koru berries?
They are not.
No.
we
get that
do
a lot.
Yes. We actually grow aronia berries.
Okay.
Is what we actually grow. They're called aronia berries, and we could talk for hours on that.
The old name is chokeberry, but it's not very marketable.
Yeah.
We went with the Latin.
It's not sexy to say, would
Yeah.
you like to buy some chokeberries?
Chokeberries.
That
I think
doesn't go
aronia
over.
is the right way to
Yeah.
go. Yep.
So-
The we will kill you berries is probably
Right.
not, not brandable.
Doesn't go well.
No, okay.
So yeah, Koru, as the name says, if you see our logo, Koru is a Polynesian symbol.
Okay.
So it's a spiraling E, which resembles an unfurling fern. Very popular in Polynesian art. If you've ever seen the movie Moana, you're going to see it all
Yeah.
over.
Okay, that's kind of my favorite movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Aw.
I know, I know. I'm an adult. My wife and I watch Disney movie here. And I'm 53. I'm a grown up. My youngest is 20. And what do on my free time? Moana.
Yep,
I
there
sing
you go.
along. I do. I get. Keep
you're
going.
decent.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
So
I
the
know
Koru-
it's terrible.
Yeah. So Koru is also referred to as the golden ratio.
Okay.
Seen all over nature, the spiraling E. You'll see it in universes and sunflowers and seashells. You see it all over.
Okay.
Once you learn the symbol, know what it is, you see it in nature. The meaning behind it is strength and new beginning. So that is how. That is why we chose the name Koru. We fell in love with the symbol. Then we found out what the name was. And then we found out the meaning. And
It just
this
made
adventure was, for us, a new beginning. And so that is why we started. We
I
named it Koru.
love. I don't even have that on my list of questions.
I graduated, or my degree is mathematics, so I know
Okay.
all about golden ratio. I've
Right.
done reports on it. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, I love, but that you just summarized, someone starting their lives
Right.
together.
Yeah.
We go deep.
Yes, you go deep. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Because I'm a big symbol guy. I think that is beautiful, and I love. Okay, so now I know I love it that much more. You guys need to see if you've not been there. Check it out. Oh, it's cool. All right, so you figured out the name. We figured out that. So how did we evolve into kind of next steps? Where did you go from that?
I made
well,
him.
Yeah. At the
I
end
did.
of the day.
I did.
So, one thing you'll learn in marriage is compromise. You learn it right away. You learn it early on.
Happy spouse, happy house,
That's
right?
right. Well, yes. So we lived in Cedar Rapids for about 8 years and always had this dream of living out in the country. I found this berry farm and I was going to go be a berry farmer. And my wife said, no, this is not what I want. She's from Atlanta, or she lived in Atlanta for a long time. So Cedar Rapids was a small town.
Sure.
So then I was saying, hey, we're going to move out to the middle of nowhere in Homestead where nothing is around us. And she said, absolutely not. She finally looked at me. She says, I'll submit as a good wife, but I'm not happy. I took my chances and I said, we're moving.
All right.
So that is where the dream started. And it was 5 years ago last week, actually, when we purchased our property.
And you have grown so much in
Yep.
5 years.
And so we were going to be berry farmers, and I was going to commit, and we were going to make all this money growing aronia berries, which didn't exactly work out. But little did I know my wife would get her sweet, sweet revenge immediately after moving out there.
Oh.
So we bought the house,
Mhm.
and we had neighbors on Sunday. We had a church right next to us. We're like,
Little
fine,
church.
little church, neighbors on Sunday, no big deal. Our plan was to buy the church in about 5 years, turn it into a retail shop for the berries, art gallery for my wife. It came on the market 3 months after we bought the house.
Okay.
And so the sign goes up. My wife comes home. She goes, church is for sale. Can we buy it? I said, no.
Now, just to interject, there were 2 offers that was already on it. So
Okay.
I figured, I'll just say it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And he said no. But then
She throws a full list offer to the realtor.
Yeah. Thinking
Went
it
for the big
probably
swing.
wouldn't happen, but the other two fell through. So here we are.
Yeah.
So now you've got this building,
Yep.
and you've expanded your property.
Yep.
You've got this cute little old church, and I've seen it, the building itself. It's adorable.
Yeah.
What you gonna do with it?
Well, that's where my wife's vision and talent came into play. She said, "Let's do a wedding venue," and I said, "Fine."
So, guys,
Got my noodle book
in the
out.
wedding planning business, you see what Neil did? Here's a key word. He said, "Uh-huh."
Uh-huh.
And the sooner you realize that that word, is that one word? Hyphenated? Uh-huh.
Hyphenated.
Or fine, either one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The sooner you realize that you're going to use that daily, the happier your life will be.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
So it really was amazing, and I led off with, we're not wedding professionals, and it still seems, we're starting our 5th summer, it still seems weird to say we're a wedding professional.
Yeah.
Me by trade, I drove semi-truck for 5 years, and I was a landscaper for over 10 years. No wedding experience, no
Okay.
restaurant experience, no nothing in this world. My wife is an artist. She sold auto parts, and she was a CNA. No wedding experience. We've literally been to one wedding in 10 years as a guest. So going into buying a wedding venue, we hadn't been to a wedding as a guest in 5 years.
A little daunting.
And so it was like, oh, now we're wedding professionals. And so it still seems weird.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I joke or I say we're not wedding professionals, because we don't see us as some people might see wedding professionals as snooty or acting a certain way or being a certain way. You know, as our name says, farm. We've got animals. We've got 22 acres. We've got mowing. It's not uncommon for us to show up at the venue for tours dirty from animals.
Sure.
It's
Or
just
dirt.
part of it. It's dirt. It's animal
It's
stuff.
a lot of work.
It just,
And
pick-
yet, if you read reviews of them, you would think you guys were total pros, because the reviews that I've read, and we've dug deep, all glowing. I mean, all just amazing. But the coolest thing about the reviews is that they talk about how much you care and how deep you go into making sure this couple has an amazing day, and that fits with what we're doing on the platform. By okay, so you don't want to call yourself wedding experts. Well, guess what? You are. But the cool thing is that a smart professional will do nothing more than help guide the couple in their dream, in their vision, on their day. This is your day, as the couple. It's not your job as the owners of the facility to dictate to them, this is how your wedding's going to look.
And I think that's why maybe we do so well, because we actually look at them as a couple and not a paycheck. It's sometimes wedding professionals, they could be too much on the business side. We really care about, first we started with a building that was nothing, and then we just gutted it and changed it into what it is today. So we fell in love with the building, and then we started falling in love with our couples that came in, because we got to know them. We just had one come in yesterday with their parents. Their parents are great, and she had a baby. So the couple had a baby, so it's like
they got married at our place 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
The parents are from Texas. Every time they're in Iowa, they make it a point to stop by.
So you've built a relationship
cool.
with them,
Yeah.
and think of the impact. And this is something that amazes me, is that with true wedding vendors, and even if I'll take experts off the table if it makes you feel more comfortable, with true people that are passionate about what they do, and it can be the venue, it can be the photographer, it can be the DJ, it doesn't matter. You're building relationships with them because you are impacting the biggest day of their lives.
Right.
And they're going to remember you. They're going to remember you, 2 years from now. You guys are, even 5 years in business. I guarantee you, 15 years from now, a couple is going to stop back, and they're going to come back through town or whatever, and they're going to say, "Yep, we got married," and they're going to show their kids where they got married, and they're going to remember those moments, and they're going to remember what kind of experience you helped create for them.
Yeah. And that word relationship, I really think helps us a lot. So the number one question you get, one of the main questions you get, not from a couple, is, what Bridezilla stories do you have? Have you had any Bridezillas? And so
the
the
big question.
general public wants to hear the horror stories
Right.
because that's what grabs their attention. We haven't had any going into our 5th summer. I think the reason we haven't is because of Deda. She strives to build a relationship with her couples all the way up to and through their wedding day.
So that leads me to an important question, and you've kind of answered it before I asked it, but let's dig into that a little bit more. You know, when couples are planning their big day, they have got all these big ideas. You know, we're going to have our wedding at 11. The reception's going to start at 4. There's going to be 5,000 people there. It's going to be balloons and explosions and farm animals. And you know how many times I use the term farm animals as a joke when I'm describing somebody's reception? And now I'm sitting with people who can actually say, "Oh, you want farm animals?
We have that.
you can do that." You know, so you guys are helping kind of put all of that in place for them, and you're walking with them. Like you had said, you know, the connection that you're making with them from kind of day one, day of contact, you know, so they reach out to you, they come in, they take a look at the place. I'm willing to bet that's not the last time you ever talk to them until they show up, right?
Right.
So what is your kind of process working with couples? You know, what kind of couple expect when they decide they want to book with you guys? What happens from that point forward?
Well, first, I'm not much of a phone. I don't like talking on the phone very much. I usually start, so the website says text.
Okay.
So in all honesty, I feel like it's personal because they are able to text me at any time. So it first starts, you know, they want to book a tour to see the place. So we're talking back and forth, and I make sure, you know, the date is good with them to come and see the place. And then I just show it like it's show and tell day. Every single tour that I do, I absolutely love it because I feel like it's from the ground up. You know, we did everything and just pointing out little details. And we try to push the fact that it's not just another wedding. It's more of an event. We like to make
Sure.
things unique and different, and that, you know, comes with the beer burrows and all the other stuff that we offer. But I just talk to them. And it's funny, they always say to me, like, you know, you don't talk like the other owners. You're just you're comfortable to be around. I feel like I can just hang out with you. And I'm like, well, that's great, because that's what I want to be. I don't want to be, you know, stuffy McGuffey or whatever, just walking around. So it's kind of nice to be able to, like, once they leave, answer any questions they have, and they're just baffled that I can just 8 o'clock I'll get a text and I'll just text them right back. So
Sure.
it's
Well, communication is huge.
Yeah,
you know,
it
and
really
the
is.
medium of communication doesn't. I mean, more and more text is the way to go with a lot of people
Right.
anyway.
well,
and-
first I can look at it later on because I'm dealing with probably 80 couples right now. So I can go back and look and see what we talked about and remember instead of asking her questions over and over again. So I feel like it works for me, and it makes them feel like it's more of a instant
Yeah.
kind of thing where they can reach me if they need to.
Well, and we've incorporated a degree of that into the platform. So at ourstressfreewedding.com, part of the thing that gets set up when you create, if you do decide to register with us, you get your own communication hub built into the platform. And the neat thing is that all of our vendors are part of that communication hub. So if you are, you know, you're in the midst of planning and a thought crosses your mind, you can jump on the communication hub. You can send a quick message over to Koru Berry, and they will get a notification. If you're not online at the time, you would get a notification, so you'd be able to respond back to them right away, and you'll know who that is. So you again have that line of being able to go back and see the conversation to keep everything in one place for everybody. It's all about, you know, convenience for the couples. And the main thing that I'm getting from both of you guys is that you're not salespeople.
No.
You know, you're not selling the property. But honestly, if you look at the pictures or you drive by and look at it, there's not a lot of selling that's needed. There's answering questions, which is different than selling because they've got lots of questions.
Yep.
But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. We're not salespeople, and we tell this to others. we're not selling you a car. So you can't buy a Ford from us and then go down the road and buy a Ford. So there's nothing we have to do to sweeten the deal. We don't have to pressure you, try to entice you to sign. You either love what Koru has or you don't. If you don't, we'll give you recommendations.
Awesome.
Do you want to
In
go
fact,
somewhere else?
yeah.
And the way we end all of our tours, and we usually get a strange look, we thank them for coming, and then we tell them to leave and go look at other places.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what? Like, no, I don't have a contract with me. We won't even let you sign today.
Or answer.
You have to leave. And then we can send you a contract, but we won't let you sign here because we want you to go and talk. We want you to go see other places and make sure this is where you want to be because we want you to be at Koru.
So you're taking the pressure off their shoulders immediately.
Yeah.
You know, stress-free. See?
Yep.
We've got a platform.
We should make a website about it.
I've got a shirt. Yeah, Andrew, see, right? Stress-free. But that is so important. You know, like going back to what I said at the top of the show, you know, when a couple gets engaged, and this is something that has always amazed me and was really part of the driving force of creating the entire platform, was instantly this couple almost overnight have to become experts in planning weddings.
Right.
And they're inundated with stuff. Have you guys ever been to Vegas or New York or Chicago, any of the big cities, right? And especially Vegas because there's more blinky lights. Everybody's got that same look on their face, you know, unless they're drunk out of their mind, which is a great look that you see in Vegas as well. But when you walk through like the casinos and stuff, everyone's got that, you know, they're kind of glazed and they're looking around. And it's the same thing when they walk through like a venue.
Right.
You know, they've all got that glazed look on their face because in the back of their mind, they're thinking of all of the other things that's going on and all the other venues that they want to look at and all these other questions that they have. And you hit them out of the blue with, yeah, no pressure. Take a look.
Yeah.
You know, if the place speaks to you, then you're in the right place.
Right.
And you want them to, you know, to think about that, to take their time
Yeah.
and not make that snap decision. This is what I want. Like, you know, okay, but give it a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is, you know, we see and we understand the importance of the day.
Yeah.
It is not, like Deda said, it's not just a paycheck for us. It is. We get paid.
Right.
And we like that. Makes the job a little better.
It helps.
But we understand the importance of the decision that the two are making that day.
Yeah.
So for us to sit there and try to pressure them, no, it is their wedding day. We want them to have their wedding, their venue, their vendors, their everything.
And when we're saying that, we're looking at the parents.
Right.
will.
Just to
Right.
make sure
Mom
they
and dad have a
know.
little bit of input on this one.
Oh,
Yep.
we will fight the parents.
Yeah.
We will fight the parents. We will lie to the parents straight up. Say, we've done it 3 times.
loving way.
It'll be great, even if we've never done it before. But if that's what our couple wants, we're going to fight for our couples.
You know,
We're not fighting for mom or fighting for grandma.
no, it's the couple's day.
Yeah.
And you know, over the years, like from my side, from the DJ side, there have been a few parents that I've had to remind that, you know, and gently, because you're right. You know, you don't hey, you don't have a say in this, but pay me.
Right.
No, you know, but to remind them, hey, this is your kid's day. You know, this is your daughter's day. You know, this is your son's day. And let's not forget who's the most important people here. And, you know, like rule number 1 at Ultimate Entertainment has always been what the bride wants, the bride gets. And this is something that we're kind of carrying over really as we talk to more and more professionals in Iowa. And it's almost like the thing that we're looking for most. I mean, reviews are great, experience is great, you know, dedication to the business is great, but inevitably all of them will bring up at some point rule number 1 without saying it out loud. And you basically just said it, you know, what the bride wants, the bride gets. It's not your vision. It's not your decision. It's not the parents' vision. It's their vision. It's the couple. And you guys have you say 22 acres.
22.
And you've got multiple different places on the property for them to have, like for their ceremony, for example. Like off the top of my head, there was one when I was going through pictures, like your waterfall location, and we've got some pictures that are running on there. Or that one by the field is gorgeous. There's so many really cool, unique places on your property that people can even more tailor what their day is going to be. They can have it inside in the chapel, and if I remember right, when we walk through, you've taken the original cute little chapel that you bought and you've built on to that. So let's talk about inside the venue, and then we'll talk about outside the venue. So let's talk about inside. You've got this cute little church, which at the time had what, like capacity of maybe 100 people ish.
175 if everyone was really, really cozy
very
and sitting cheek
And
to cheek.
right, so and you still have kind of the chapel part of it. Which is gorgeous.
Yep.
It's a great photo op. It's a beautiful place to have your ceremony. But you've added on to that.
Yep.
Let's talk about that.
We put on an addition a little over 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was finished up. We had put on a 40 by 50 addition to our little church, and so now we can host
basically all
300
windows.
people.
300.
300 people inside. Ideally 275, but legally three. Three's
You know, and the Iowa
cozy.
average is, not counting COVID, because we're just going to pretend 2020 didn't happen. But the Iowa average is about 2 1/4.
Right.
225.
Yep.
So you're right in there. So you've got room for people to be comfortable,
Yep.
and then you've got on top of the venue inside, and you've got all the amenities inside that everybody needs. So let's I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about inside and what you have for our couples inside.
We keep adding.
Yeah. It changes.
Every single
So
time.
what do you have for them today?
Like
And
projects.
we'll get into the next part.
Yes. I was telling a gentleman who was there on Saturday for a wedding, I said, you'll come back in 6 months from now and you're going to go, holy cow, a lot has changed. Because we are constantly updating, modifying, improving the grounds, improving the building, trying to bring that next and best experience to our clients.
Yeah.
So going inside, so like Deda had said, or I had had said, Deda's an artist by trade. She's an acrylic painter, ridiculously talented.
I'm so jealous.
And a lot of the works are around the venue too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's got paintings and murals of our animals and abstract paintings and just ridiculous
I didn't know
things.
that
And
was
she
all your
just-
stuff.
I can't add or subtract, so I have to paint.
Yeah.
I can't do any of those things.
Yeah, so she's ridiculously
I'm here for.
talented.
Thank you.
So inside is very, very unique.
It is.
You're not going to walk through and go, Menards, Lowe's, Hobby Lobby. Menards, Lowe's, Hobby Lobby.
Some hobby. but not very much.
There's custom paintings, and with her art background, she used to travel and do art festivals. So as we have wall space come available, we reach out to her network of artists and go, here's the size, what do you have for us? So we have a custom clock made by a local woodworker. We have custom yarn wall hanging from a lady down in Washington. We have a chandelier that's 7 foot across by an artist from Florida. I mean, just custom,
cool.
unique, amazing pieces. So the inside is very unique. In the name says farm. We are not a barn.
No, it's not. It is not. There's a difference between what your venue is and a
Right.
barn venue.
Yep.
We want to make that very clear. It is an established venue. I mean, you built on a church and you built back into the building itself with the addition onto it. So it is not a barn venue,
We have AC and heat.
which is nice. Air conditioning is important in Iowa, and heat.
bathrooms. Bathrooms as well.
Running
several.
water. Yeah, we've been labeled and we kind of run with it as an Iowa modern. So there are
Okay.
rustic touches because rustic 5 years ago and still is for a while pretty hot.
Yeah.
The barn, the rustic. So we have those rustic touches so you could come in with cowboy boots and blue jeans and fit.
Sure.
Or you can come in with white long gloves and fit.
Yeah.
So there's very rustic touches and very modern touches. Polished concrete, large windows, custom metal work. So some very unique modern touches as well. So we like the Iowa modern.
And the
So-
other really awesome thing about that, and especially like the windows and the art, is your photographer. If you have the right photographer, and by the way, if you go to ourstressfreewedding.com and look at our photographers, we have some amazing photographers on there. But the photographers have such an incredible canvas to pull from for your wedding pictures.
Yeah. And that's something that has our inexperience helped us in the planning process. Because we didn't know what we were doing. So Deda went in, decorated, got it all ready, and then we invited a photographer friend out going, come out and see our venue. Come out and see our venue. She comes out, she
This
goes,
was
this is all
humbling.
cute. and throws everything to the side. Starts taking things off the wall,
I learned my
throwing
lesson.
pillows. She goes,
Simplicity.
it's all clutter in my pictures that I have to
Mhm.
edit out.
Yeah.
Get rid of all of it.
That was brilliant.
And so
Brilliant.
that is really what we've done all along is we've turned to the wedding professionals and go, what do you need? How do we make your experience better at Koru?
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we are just the venue. And the DJ is just the DJ. And the photographer is just the photographer. Now we can fight and bicker and try to hold our ground and say, I'm this or I'm that or I'm more important, but none of us matter. We all have to work together.
Everybody has to work together.
And so
Yes.
we've turned to the wedding professionals, the caterers, photographers, DJs, everyone and go, what do you need?
Yeah.
How do we make your life better here? How do we make it so you want to come back to Koru?
Which is so huge. That is so important. You know, it's something we talk about all the time. You know, it is incredibly important for all of the key players, all of that couple's vendors to play nice together.
Right.
You know, and everybody's got a role.
Yep.
And everybody's got a place. Like one of the things that we do, like with Ultimate Entertainment, this is actually something that I recommend to DJs in general, is we don't have a specific timeline. You know, and I would assume as the venue, you probably don't have a set in stone timeline either, because the photographer is going to have, you know, if they want sunset pictures and you're like, oh no, you know, at exactly 7:35 we've got this scheduled. You missed the one time of day for the perfect pictures.
Right.
No, you know, of
No.
course not. So if you play nice with everybody and everybody works together, it
Right.
makes everything better. And again, tying that into like the ourstressfreewedding.com platform, by having all of your vendors from Our Stress Free, I can promise you that every vendor you find on there is going to have that exact same philosophy.
Right.
You know, this is not about my ego. This is not about me. I'm the DJ. You know, who
Yeah.
cares? You know, it's
So funny story about there's no set timeline. We all have to work together. My wife. So middle of a wedding, speeches are going on, and it was a rainy day. Rain, miserable. It just was what it was. Father of the bride is up giving a speech. We're in the background. She looks out and sees a double rainbow. Middle of the father's speech, my wife walks up and goes, you all have to go outside and get pictures right now. She interrupts the father of the bride.
you're the artist, though.
But it was just like the big, huge picture windows, and everybody was looking at the dad, and nobody was looking out outside. I'm like, come on, this is. But the cool thing is like when you first enter, you know, there's a gift table or whatever. They had a painting, and in the painting was a rainbow.
Oh.
So it had significance.
Oh, there's a
And I
sign.
knew that, and there
I
was.
mean, literally, there's a sign.
Right. So, and everybody, there was almost like people trampling over each other to try to get out and get pictures, but that was like the best picture.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
it turned out
it
to
was
be an
worth it.
amazing picture, but I couldn't believe that
It
she
was
went
worth
and
it.
interrupted the father of the bride in the middle of the speech.
He was okay.
But
He was
the,
all
the
right.
pictures were worth it, and it's a great story. It's one of those things that will be remembered.
Oh, yeah.
About that person's wedding.
Oh yeah.
So
They'll
yeah,
look back
it's-
on it and they'll laugh about
Yeah.
it,
Right.
and then they're going to look at these gorgeous pictures,
Yeah.
and they're going to be thankful for it on top of it. But again, that shows how in tune you guys are to helping this couple, and again, the couple is the key.
Right.
Helping this couple have an amazing day. You know, to have their day and have this amazing, beautiful moment.
Yep.
I think that's a cool story.
It's so funny though. I
I'm telling you
remember-
what, it takes some cojones for you to do that, and I
Well,
give you full credit for
I
jumping in
honestly-
there. But
I honestly wasn't even thinking. I was just like, I saw it and I had to go. It was like motor skills. That was it. But as soon as I said something, all I heard was like this whole room just gasping, like, you know, like it was just nobody saw it. I just couldn't believe that they couldn't.
and
see
it was right through the
Giant
big windows that you've got there. Oh
windows.
my gosh.
So yeah.
I love it. So here's the other cool thing is that just outside, you have got this beautiful patio, So you can have everything inside. You know, if it's June and July and it's 1,000 degrees outside, you can have the bulk of the reception inside. They also have the option to have like a social time or the reception and everything outside, just on the patio outside the building. So all your facilities and everything are still there. Air conditioning still there if you need it.
Right.
But you can move everything outside as well. And Deda, you mentioned it just real quick in passing because for you it's a totally normal thing, but for the rest of the world, it's going to be, what did she just say? You mentioned beer burrows.
I sure did.
You sure did. So let's talk about beer burrows.
So I'm going to kind of go back a little bit. I have a couple of nephews and a niece, and I would always hear them come back and say they went to another wedding and they did the same thing over and over and over again. It was just boring for them. So we wanted to come up with something that was fun that people would remember, and I think we nailed it. So
you think?
I'm a huge animal whisperer, so I love animals. And he does too. He just kind of plays tough every once in a while. But anyway, he created this amazing courtyard, is what we like to call it. It's got picnic tables outside. We've got sunshades over it, dance floor, stage. People can bring in bands or DJs or whatever. But this is usually where we do the social hour. And in the social hour is where the beer burrows happen. So we have miniature donkeys that we put packs on their back and then put beer inside of the packs. And then we walk them around the courtyard, and people can take a beer, get a selfie with the donkey, because you can't do that every day. So, and usually when I say that on tours, it's almost like, you see that little kid when it's Christmas Day. It's like, that's the look I always get. Like it's the greatest thing they've ever heard. So, and I have, fortunately and unfortunately, heard people later, they see me later and they like, I went to Koru, I was at a wedding there and I love the beer burrows. I'm like, well, who was the wedding? Who were the couple? I'm like, they just totally forget who the couple was. It's just,
they remember the beer burrows.
Yeah, but they remember the beer burrows. So there's that.
Bring up. I've got their website up, and I've got a great picture of the patio of that back area that we can see. So that's where you can put everything outside as well.
Right.
Yep, got the fire pit out there. You've got seating out there. It's absolutely gorgeous. So when you sit down with a couple, so aside from the beer burrows, you've got what you'd mentioned. You've got chickens. You've got
chickens, goats, sheep, peacocks, emus, llamas, miniature horse, and kuni pigs.
Kuni pigs.
Kuni pigs. It's Polynesian for fat and round, and they fit that description quite well. They're a polka dotted pig.
Long hair.
They're longer hair. They're just like
Adorable.
a dog. So we've got the beer burrows. And September, we could possibly have ring pig and flower girl. So we have a wedding in September who's requested the pigs as their ring bearer and flower girl.
I already have their harness, and I'm going to be decorated with flowers, as long as they don't eat those.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, they're very food motivated. We've got a couple of videos.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah. And if you think that pigs can't run, check out this video. He calls them they were at the venue, and he called them, and you could just, see her going like this, and then all of a sudden it was like this, and then just flew up the hill.
Took off like a gazelle. She was on a mission.
So, yeah, my wife heard that I made a giant mistake and told my wife that you have llamas.
Yep.
And about like 2 years ago, my wife's like, you know what, we should get a llama. I'm like, I don't think our homeowners association would allow llamas.
Therapy pet.
Yeah, that was her argument. So no, you know what? This show's done. We're done. No, you are not helping at all. Not helping one bit. We'll come visit you guys.
All right.
So your guests, your couples, they're able to take pictures.
Yep.
I mean, everybody, the critters, granted nature, so they've got a mind of their own,
Yeah.
Right.
but they're used to being around people.
Oh, yes.
So they're comfortable with that. And I know we've got a few pictures running right now just on the slideshow that we've got some great pictures with some of our couples that took some pictures with the goats and with some of the critters out there. So when you are kind of going through the planning process with a couple, how do beer burrows come up in the course of conversation?
Oh, it's part of the tour.
It's part of the tour, yeah.
So yeah, we have very few things that we charge extra for. You'll get into some venues like, oh well, we charge, and I don't know who the venue was, but it was like $50 to turn their chandelier on. Not us. I don't know who it was. So I
can't
Everything's
keep
an
up with all
upsell.
that.
right, everything's an upsell,
keep
but
up.
we have very few things that we charge extra for, and they're all optional.
Sure.
It's not required. And one of those are the beer burrows.
Sure.
And so we take them down to the courtyard, and in the basement you can see the pictures that Deda has painted, and one is a painting of the beer burrows, and she explains that is an option
So
that
does-
they can add on.
Someone on staff walk with them, or do they? So you walk with them. So they're not just so you know, you don't have random burrows just
running
wandering
around.
around with beer strapped to them.
Hey,
No,
hey,
I'm-
hey, come here.
Now, if you can teach them to do that,
Right.
I'm short.
I usually walk them around, make sure everybody's and kids aren't putting their fingers in their mouths for some reason. They do that, but I'm very interactive.
I'm glad
with
you said
the-
mouth.
the
I'm glad you
guests.
said.
Well, you never know.
Been a weird
But-
day.
Yeah, very interactive with them. So I get people to come over and I just hand them the reins and take pictures, and they just love it. Eat it up.
I just think that's so cool. It's just.
Funny.
It's adorable and it's unique. It is so unique, and you are creating memories for that couple above and beyond.
Right.
Just taking it that much further.
Yeah.
And I just think it's just awesome. I mean, you've got all of these different spaces, and so if a couple wanted to have their ceremony at say the waterfall spot or over by the berry rows over there. Are they able to then have their reception inside, or are they kind of limited by, okay, you can have this part of our property? How does that work?
The rule of thumb is stay out of our living room and stay out of the animal enclosures. The rest of the 22 acres is wide open.
Just the living room.
Just the living room. I mean,
Well, yeah.
So before we started the show, we were talking a little bit about, again, future building and future plans and where you guys are going, and something that you're thinking about. So I don't want to put words into your mouth, but one of the things that you're thinking about doing is building cabins.
Yep.
So let's is this something we can talk about for, like, this is probably coming,
well,
or
we're talking about it now, so I guess
this
we can talk about
breaking news right here at our stress-free wedding?
So I kind of will take this over. We weren't really planning on doing cabins. We were actually trying to figure out like a honeymoon suite / bridal area for them to get ready in. Then it just kind of camped into a overnight stay. People could stay there if they wanted to. So it's a vision that we have that might go a little bit further in the future. But for now, we were probably thinking about renting out our house because it's bigger. But I'll let you finish
So-
the rest.
We are currently remodeling our home that we live in,
Okay.
and
And the home is on. You guys live on the property, so it's all
next
right
door.
there. Yep.
Literally, if you got a good arm, you could hit it with a rock. We are literally right next door. We can hear the boom boom of the bass at night, and so we are right there. So we are remodeling our house currently, and that will be turning into a rental in the future for the wedding party, for a family, for anyone that wishes to stay there for the event. And then we are also building an A-frame cabin, 1,000 square foot A-frame cabin. We started that last week, and then we are researching what we can do and get away with to add additional cabins. The master plan is probably 12 cabins on the property.
So cool.
And so how that all plays out is yet to be seen. But yeah, we are definitely looking towards the future, and that is again, we're constantly looking ahead. We're constantly changing, constantly adding things. How do we make it a better experience? We've been at our house for just literally 5 years now, and there's nights we still step outside and look up and go, wow. just the sky, no light pollution.
It's gorgeous
it's
out there.
quiet,
It's
It's
gorgeous.
absolutely amazing.
I'm jealous.
And so it's like,
seriously.
if we could share this with people, it would just make their experience all that much better.
Well,
and so
yeah.
that's what we're working towards now.
And one of the neat things with that is you get a lot of couples that maybe grew up in Iowa, and life took them to Chicago or somewhere else. They graduated, and that's it's where their career took them.
Yep.
But they want to get married back home.
Yeah.
And you guys are far enough out that by now offering this even more to them, that's one more thing they can check off their list of things to worry about.
Yep.
We just had a large hotel kind of close down too, so that sort of helped us up the process because if people don't have a place to stay, that gets a little scary for us booking here. So
Right.
we wanted to make it more convenient and kind of go that route.
Yep.
But
Yeah, and the whole farm experience, the vision is you wake up, imagine being 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, waking up in the cabin and looking out and there's sheep walking in front of your cabin.
Yeah.
Or a goat, or pigs, or a llama, or peacocks strolling by. That is the experience we are looking to curate at Koru. So kids are absolutely going to love it. Adults are absolutely going to love it. Just sit outside at night by the campfire and cuddling a sheep. You're not doing that everywhere.
I mean, you're creating an oasis, though. I mean, you're creating so
don't
much,
cuddle Oreo.
so much more than just the wedding venue,
Right.
Just the reception place.
Yep.
You are really creating an entire experience for them, and even when the reception's done and the DJ's gone home and the bulk of your guests have left, and you finally kind of get that. I mean, it's something that couples don't realize going in is how fast everything goes by
Oh, yeah.
during the course of the day, and how much gets packed into that 18-hour
Yep.
period from when you get up and hair and makeup and pictures and ceremony and dinner and wedding and there's a bazillion things. One of the things that I tell couples all the time is during the reception, and it doesn't matter if you've got 30 or 300 guests, the number doesn't matter. During the reception, after, main dances are done and you're just down to the party, find an empty corner. There's going to be a spot in the building where there's not a lot of people.
Yep.
Go stand there for 30 seconds. You will end up staying there longer, but go stand there for 30 seconds and look at your reception. Because when you're in the middle of it and you've got all of these people that want to see you and that are celebrating with you, and it is a beautiful, powerful moment in the middle of it. But when you take yourself out of the equation for just a few seconds and you look at all of these people that are there celebrating you, celebrating your day, celebrating the first day of, this is day one of your memories of looking back on your lives together. Take yourself out and look at it. You will be amazed at how much you remember that 30-second moment.
Right.
And you guys are building a place, or building onto a place. I guess the place already exists. You're building onto that experience where they can carry that beyond the chaos of the reception and have that, I'm going to go hang out with Bob the llama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
That's Garth, by the way.
Garth. That's worse. My wife loves Garth Brooks. So you have Garth the llama.
Well, he calls him Barf, like Spaceballs, because it looks just like him. But
I love that movie. So
Yeah.
you're okay. Oh my gosh. So we have spent close to an hour, and I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what you guys do there. I think that there's so much you truly need to see and experience. And if you go to ourstressfreewedding.com, you go to their listing, you can see a bunch of information. We, of course, have all the links to their website, of their social media. You can see all of that. You have every ways to contact them through there. Andrew, something we have, you're supposed to yell at me.
Like and subscribe.
What did I forget to say? If you are enjoying the show, I've had so much fun talking with them. I haven't done my job and Andrew's main job. Andrew, what happens if you enjoy the show? What should you do?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. I know. We're darn near Oh, it's blowing up,
Right?
right? A couple people.
I've
at a
seen the
time.
numbers.
Well, they are going up. You know what? I love it. I am so. This is neat. You know, for me, like 4-hour stress-free wedding. You know, I've been in the wedding business as a DJ forever. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. And as the DJ, you are singly focused. And I think a photographer would say the same thing. And even as a venue, you guys would say the same thing. You are singly focused on your couple. You know, that is your key. That's what you want to make your couple's day amazing. I really, you know, I'm not worried what the photographer's day is like, or even what the quality of the photographer is. That's not my job as the DJ. I'm going to work with them, you know, and make sure that the couple's, but again, always comes back to the couple. Now with our stress-free wedding, now I'm learning more and more about everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm learning your philosophy, and I'm learning your hearts and where you're coming from. And I'm learning more, you know, with the photographers and other DJs, and it's been a very cool experience finding more and more people that are of like mind. And as the platform is growing and as word is starting to get out, one of the things that is really kind of neat is, you know, we've based it, you know, based our vendors on, you know, that we're doing the reviews and we're doing the checks, and we're making sure that everybody meets a level of excellence that demands to be there. As we're growing now, we're able to actually lean in more with our founding vendors. So, you know, if you have, you know, photographers or DJs or caterers that you work with, and you're like, hey, these guys are worth looking at, you know, that adds even that much more into kind of a peer review system to, again, have that quality focus on making that couple's day even bigger and even better for everyone.
Absolutely. And like you said, you've compiled a fantastic list that our stress-free wedding. And as the venue owner, we can't stress enough how important it is to have quality vendors. No one's going to remember, most of the people aren't going to remember who the caterer was. They either had good food or bad food at Koru. They either had a good DJ or a bad DJ at Koru. So we really stress to our couples to find those quality vendors, because people are going to remember. We tell couples all the time, people remember 3 things. They remember the food, they remember the cake. We have to now add 4, so they remember the beer burrows, and they remember the party.
Yeah.
So it's focusing in on those 4 areas to where to allocate those funds. So it's important to use the resources that you guys have compiled for the couples that are, because at Koru you can bring in anyone. We have no restrictions. Bring in whoever you want. We'll guide you. We'll provide you a list. We'll direct you to our stress-free wedding. Go there.
Thank you for the plug.
I forgot where I was going with that. But they're going to remember the food, the cake, and the party. Don't the other things that you're going to stress about really aren't going to matter.
No.
They don't care about the napkin color. They don't care about paper plates or real plates. They don't care about the glassware. And so, yeah, it's just it's important.
It's so true. And sadly, so many brides get so caught up in those minute details, and they get so stressed out about the napkins. You know, and it's like I remember a wedding I did years ago. We were done with all of the big dances, and it was down to just the reception time. Everybody was dancing, and so it was perfect time for DJ potty time. You know, so my chance to escape to the restroom. As I'm walking to the little boys' room, the mother of the bride came out of the women's restroom crying, very upset, and she, of course, beelined to her daughter, the bride. So now I have crying mom, crying bride. I haven't made it to the bathroom yet because I see 2 very important people that are upset. So I immediately go over there and I'm like, ladies, what's wrong? How can I help? What can I fix? And the bride's mom, in kind of this very broken speech, is like, they're out of hand towels in the women's bathroom. And I was waiting for her to finish the sentence with, and there's a dead body. You know, there wasn't. They were just out of hand towels in the women's bathroom. And so I grabbed a passing bridesmaid and, you know, pointed her to the bride. I'm like, take her, go dance. Get the bride out of the equation. And I sat mom down and I said, you know, I got she'd been sipping on wine all night, so I gave her a glass of wine. I'm like, 2 seconds, be right back. You know, and I went over, talked to the venue, and problem solved.
Right.
You know, the situation was taken care of immediately. I went back to mom and I said, you know, here's the thing. You know, in an hour from now, maybe a day from now, for sure a week from now, you're going to look back on this moment and you're going to laugh about hand towels. You know, it's the little things like that. They don't matter in the long run. And, you know, and mom's like, oh, but, you know, there was just so much going on. And, you know, it just got to me. I'm like, no, I get it. And that's important. But, you know, the venue took care of it immediately. Problem was solved.
Right.
Don't worry about it. And, you know, you're going to laugh about this. You know, it's the little details like that. Don't stress out.
Yep, exactly. And like we had said before, we always get the question about bridezillas.
Mm-hmm.
Brides have never been our problem. Moms are the worst.
We love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom.
We're going to edit that part out.
We
Yep.
understand.
And
that
if
you
you're
guys are killing
listening,
us.
you know, because
mom is.
we are, you know, we are the first and the last face. I am literally the last face that they're going to see before they leave the venue that night, because I lock up the door. And the number of moms that I've talked to and had them cry to me because they missed their daughter's wedding
Uh-huh.
or their son's wedding because they were
So
so
busy.
stressed out
Mm-hmm.
about all these little things.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of our pre-meeting. We 30 days out, we're like, bring your parents so I can start backing them off the cliff.
Yeah.
I started with a mom 6 months out, backing her off because she was so stressed out.
Yeah.
I told her 6 months out, I go, you are going to miss the wedding.
Go pet the llamas.
I go,
pet the
you need to settle down.
Yeah.
We are
Or the pigs.
good at what we do. I joke that we're not wedding professionals. We are very good at what we do. Our staff is amazing.
Yeah.
And so we start backing parents down right away.
Mhm.
30 days out, we're going, you've got this vendor, they're amazing. You've got this vendor, they're amazing. You're at Koru. We haven't blown a wedding yet.
Right.
We're not starting with yours.
Right.
Settle down.
But the thing is, they need to hear that, and you know, and you can deliver it a couple ways. You know, you can be a complete ass about it and call them out on it, or you can approach the way like what you just described, and you can say, hey, we got you.
Yeah.
You know, we've got you right here. You've got nothing to worry. Geez, all you need to do is just describe your logo to them, and they should have all the peace of mind that they need, because that's amazing
Right.
by itself. You know, I mean, that's your philosophy. I mean, just talking with you guys, you do not strike me as a high stress couple. You know, so
Not publicly.
but right. Well, you know that's okay. You know, what happens off camera happens off camera. But you know, but you are so right. Is that parents can literally miss their kids' day because they are so busy running around doing all of the other work that the vendors should be doing.
Wedding professionals.
And the wedding I'm sorry. Yep, we're changing our phraseology, because the only people that use vendors are those of us in the, you know, only the vendors.
Right.
Brides don't, you know, I want the right vendor. I want the right photographer. Okay, that one I get. So
And we get it. I mean, we get that, you know, it is their little girl or their little boy that's getting married, and it's very important for them. And they are, the whole point about the 30-day meeting is, you know, even though they've been married once, you know, you don't get married every day. So you don't think, sometimes you think that things aren't going to get done when they are.
Mhm.
And there's a time, like chairs. We always get the mom almost every time it's the mom. Are you going to clean the chairs outside before the wedding day?
right,
But that'll be asked on Friday afternoon for a Saturday wedding.
right.
Are you going to clean the chairs? Not today.
No.
Right.
Because there's birds out there.
Yeah. And they
It ain't
eat.
today.
And it's like, we would just be cleaning chairs constantly.
But on the day when they get there,
Yeah.
those chairs are
They will
clean.
be by the
But
time they walk down the
we
aisle.
tell them that it is going to be done, and we reassure them that these things are going to be done, so they don't have to freak out about it,
Yeah.
or they don't have to do it. So that helps.
The
them
key
quite a
to
bit.
finding the key to having a stress-free wedding. I feel almost bad being redundant, because you know you want to be a original thought when you're talking to people about this, but it always comes back down to the right thing. It's when you have the right wedding professionals, you
Absolutely.
really have nothing to worry about.
Yep.
You know, like I don't remember if I said it during the show, if I said it before the show, but you know, on the wedding day, bride has 3 jobs. You know, show up, say I do at roughly the right time, and look beautiful and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And you can take those, you know, simple jobs to the parents. Show up, Smile, welcome everybody down, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Celebrate the fact that your son or daughter, your child, has met the person of their dreams, and know that you raised them to want to be the kind of parents that you are.
Right.
You know, you did it.
Yep.
You made it. They're celebrating. Enjoy that. You know, relax. And it's so true. I've seen so many parents, and usually it's mom, and I get it.
Yep, we
You
get
know,
it.
mom, you understand. I mean, you want the best for your kids, especially on their biggest day. And then, of course, you factor in that they're writing a lot of really, really big checks.
Yeah.
You know, so there is kind of the financial factor
Right.
that goes into it. But when you have the right wedding professionals,
Yep.
they got nothing to worry about. And the more you remind them that, the better you are,
Yeah.
or the better that they are for it.
Yep. And that's, in finding the right professional, that does not mean more zeros.
No, it doesn't always mean the most
It
expensive.
doesn't mean the most expensive.
Mm-mm.
We have DJs at our place that are 500, and we have a DJ that's trying to get to 5,000. Fantastic. If you can make it at 500, great. If you can make it at 5,000, great. But find that professional.
Mhm.
Find that professional that's going to give you the experience that you want.
Mhm.
No offense to the $500 DJs, but if your vision is a driving, thriving party that goes all night long, most likely not the $500 DJ in our experience. You're going to have to spend a little bit more. If you want barbecue, don't go to an Italian restaurant looking for barbecue. Find those people that can give you the experience that you want. And that's the fantastic thing about the wedding industry. People are always, there's a lot of venues out there. There's a lot of DJs out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of every kind of wedding professional out there. People are like, well, aren't you upset that there's another wedding venue? No, we're booked.
Right.
There's only so many weddings. There's only so many weekends in a year. We can't have them all.
Right.
We're not right for everyone.
Right.
And so it's perfectly fine that there's another venue out there because they may provide the experience that the couples want. And that's what we want for them.
So many of the professionals that we've spoken with. I mean, we are on episode 9,
Right?
but we have talked to all
8.
the other ones on the platform as well.
8 solid
But
professionals.
the public version, but everyone else that we've spoken with, because we do talk about that kind of during the onboarding or interviewing process to have people on the platform, is like DJs, for example. One of the things that'll every DJ that's on the platform, not including All Sport Entertainment, my own business, which has paid for my life 30 plus years of my life, right? I don't look at other DJs as competition. And every DJ that is on the platform has that same philosophy. We can't do every wedding.
Right.
And we're not right. Even if we could do every wedding, we are not right for every couple.
Yeah.
There is, and that's why they should take their time and to look, and part of the neat thing about the platform, if you go to ourstressfreewedding.com, part of the neat thing about that is that you have a variety to choose from, and we are constantly looking for more. We're constantly looking for those different styles. We do have, like, using DJs, for example, we do have some that are on the lower end of the price spectrum. We do have some that are on the higher end of the price spectrum. Same thing with venues. We've got everything from, indoor, everything's flashy, everything's high tech, it's got great lights, the whole thing. You've got also, the straight barn that, 2 years ago, what was it? It was a barn. There was farm animals in it. Now it's a wedding venue, but they've cleaned it up and they've made it into a neat little place. And if that speaks to that couple, great.
Exactly.
It's finding what fits.
Yeah.
The pricing is almost secondary to finding what fits for your day.
And I feel like it's not even just the building. It's what. It's who owns it too.
It's the connection.
I've heard a lot of clients come to us and say, we really like the building, we like the farm, but it was something about you guys, So anybody could have a building, but it's like the whole package that people really go for. And
I
that
think
makes us
once somebody
feel
talks to
pretty
you
good.
guys, and it should be. Once they meet you, and just the energy that you guys give off here when we're sitting and talking, you can feel just that peace that you have, because what you've built was built from love, was built because you love what you're doing, and including the farm aspect, and including the art aspect, and putting that all together into one beautiful moment for a couple. I think that comes so clearly from you guys. And I think when people watch this show, they're going to get that same feel, and that's so important to a couple, to find that right feel.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's important to us, we've joked we're not professional. We're authentic.
Yeah, there's the word.
What you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into a meeting last Tuesday. I was pouring concrete 10 minutes before. I had concrete on my pants. I at least took time to wipe the concrete off my face. I'm sure it was still in my hair. And I went and I sat down with the parents. I go, this is who we are. I'm not going to try to sell you something we're not. This is who we are, and this is what we do. We are authentic. I love my wife. The annoying thing about my wife is the personality that people see at a wedding, that they see in public, is who she is all the time. It's not a persona. She's bubbly. She's happy. She's smiling. Most of the time, not always with her husband, but that is genuinely who she is. And so she's authentic. We've all dealt with people who put on that public persona.
Right.
I do it. I can do it very well. I can smile. I was talking with people Saturday. They're like, you've been smiling this whole day. I go, it's my job.
Right, right.
I love what I do, but also there's just there's days that it's like, it's my job to smile and be happy. But my wife is genuine. She's authentic in everything that she does. And Koru is authentic.
I think that's one of the amazing things too, and that it kind of goes back to like the Vegas factor, that the gosh, I hope they don't suck factor. When somebody walks into a venue, or they go to a wedding show or something like that, any wedding person, I'm going to use the term vendor in this case, because any vendor can put on a nice face.
Right.
I can set up some blinky lights. I can wear a tie. I can say all the right things.
Put on my DJ voice.
Right. I can use my DJ voice. I can do the whole thing, and it'll be awesome. I might suck at what I do.
Right.
But for the hour that I'm doing that show, the wedding show, I may come off as everything that bride wants, and it might turn out to be a complete disaster, because the bride didn't get to know who I am, who the heart of what I do is, and the passion that I have for my craft. And you're exactly right. By being genuinely who you are, I think that even more assures couples that they're going to be taken care of, because it's so obviously apparent that you can say all day long, we're not experts. Okay, tough.
Right.
You are, and you don't need the pedigree that goes with it.
Yeah.
You've got the expert level because you've got 5 years of happy couples that you can turn around and point at and say, I don't have my certification as Venue Owners of America. I don't even know if that's a thing. Maybe it should. I don't know.
Can we get one of those online?
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure Amazon sells it. Who knows? Jeff Bezos has got everything else out there. But it's the genuine part that makes the difference. I love it. I want to switch gears, because I want to get into something else. And this came up as like when we met Deda for the first time. It almost came up as a side mention, and then it kind of blew up around us. And that was the hops and hot rods thing.
I knew they had it in their back pocket, and we weren't going to leave that, without talking about it at least.
So look, Andrew, poor Andrew, he's been quiet the whole time. So you did the initial research on Koru Berry to start with. And so you knew a few things that I didn't know about, like the hops and hot rod stuff. So what was your initial impression of Koru Berry and just Deda? Yeah, I know. I'm gonna put both you guys on the spot. But what was your initial impression?
It was a beautiful venue, and I noticing throughout the day, both Deda and Neil were actually there, helping to not dictate, but help keep the
Facilitate.
Yeah, they're there to facilitate and keep things running smoothly. You know, Neil said he's always the last person that you're gonna meet. He was the last person I met
Because
there.
you met them actually doing a wedding. One of the receptions that Ultimate Entertainment did was there.
Yes.
That's how you met them.
And then Deda, she was helping directing traffic when I needed to get people in for the start of the reception and such. And but yeah, gorgeous place. And then I noticed, hey, there's some vehicles with some tappers on there too. And I said, what is all this about? And when I asked Neil, he handed me a business card. Oh, hops and hot rods. This is something else that they do. And I said, this is just fantastic.
Oh, this is awesome. So you've got a whole nother side, and this is something you can offer to someone's reception at Koru Berry, but there's a whole nother dimension. In fact, bring up screen right, because I've got their listing up for that as well. Let's talk about hops and hot rods. We're changing gears.
Yes, well, we didn't have enough going on with the 22 acres, animals, 50 plus weddings, building cabins. It's like, how do you take, well, so what else can we do? But they also say if you take a passion and make it your job, you never work a day in your life. I'm not sure if they mean that with drinking, but we have found a way to take our drinking habit and make it a tax write-off. So it's been kind of nice.
Oh, stop. We're not that bad. We do like a craft beer, though.
Drinking makes everything better. Ask any politician.
That's right. So Koru Berry Farm is a BYOB venue.
Okay.
That's one of the many things that sets us apart from other people is Koru is a BYOB. Bring your own. People are like, great. Do you have a bartender? And we're like, no. It's a BYOB. Well, after hearing that question enough times, we decided to go out and fix the issue.
Okay.
So Koru is still a BYOB, but then we started a business called Hops and Hot Rods. Our first and primary vehicle is a 1930 Model A truck that's copper orange with beer taps off the side.
Awesome.
It runs, it drives. It's better if you're 5'5" and not 6'1"
no legs.
to drive it. But it's a sexy truck, and that was exactly what we were looking for when we started researching vehicles. Yeah, Ginger right there. She's a sexy truck. She's not a museum piece, but she runs. And so it's great. It's a fun experience that we can provide couples anywhere. It is technically a mobile bar, so it is not restricted to Koru. We serve Koru. We're going to be up in the Waterloo area in October. We're doing Oktoberfest in Amana. We're chasing Ragbri this year with our trucks. So we can literally go anywhere in the state of Iowa. We have to stop at the borders because I'm not dealing with Illinois liquor license. But we have to stop at the borders. It's just a fun experience, and another driving force behind the Hops and Hot Rods. We saw enough bartenders and bar services come in. They just go,
right. No personality. Here's your drink.
here's your drink.
Yep.
Here's your drink. They're just like,
It was not fun.
have fun with your job. You know, enjoy it. Yeah, put on the fake smile. Enjoy it.
Right.
Be
And
a
part
fun bartender and provide an experience to the couples. And I saw enough going, this is not the experience that I want at Koru for our couples. And so we ended up buying Ginger. We have a 1948 blue truck there on screen. And then we have a 63 F250, I think, that's all patinaed, and it will pull a teardrop trailer. And so we can do just about any event. We have a 500-person wedding coming up in October that we're going to be doing. So,
And part of it's hiring fun bartenders, too. And we've got a nice little handful of very creative, fun people. One of them is my best friend, Jess. She also does costumes, so she incorporates some of the costumes in with the bartending. So she has this hoop skirt that has holes in it, so she can put drinks in the skirt and walks around and serves people. It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So plug to Jessica.
So
thank you.
The back of Ginger, it's a 1930s. It was a pickup truck.
Yep.
In its day, and you put on the back of it a cover, and then so you can put kegs in there, and then there's tappers along the sides.
yep, there's a keg fridge in the back and 5 tappers out the side. So we can do a lot of beer off the side of that truck.
And people can customize like what beer they want in there. You can.
We do.
It doesn't do Coors, Busch, or Bud.
We call it the Redneck Reserve. We don't do that. Yeah.
Ginger has standards.
We work with Millstream mostly. So
Okay.
Millstream Brewery is in Amana, and they have, in my opinion, some of the best craft beers I've ever had in my life. So
See, no, I think that's cool too, though, is that you're getting away from the corporate
yes.
alcohol, and you are including a local brewery as part of that package. So you're tying even that much more into your services of giving people that local, just homegrown feel with that.
And all joking aside, it is 100% customizable. If you want what we refer to as the Redneck Reserve, Busch, Coors,
We'll
Bud,
do it.
It's good. I like
We-
Budweiser.
The
we
truck
can
won't like
do
it.
that.
So you put the fake smile
Yeah,
on.
we put the
Yeah.
fake smile
Right.
and hand you your
Here's your Bud.
your water. But it really is part of that experience that we try to provide people, all-encompassing experience. You can do the Redneck Reserve at X price, or we can get you Millstream, very similar flavor spectrum, a lot better quality in our opinion for the same price. And so guests go to a wedding however frequent. It's always Bud, Busch, Coors.
Right.
Or you can come to Higher Hops and Hot Rods, and we can get you Saturday Night Pants, which is the Redneck Reserve. We can get you a pecan porter, which I swear is a dessert in a glass. We can do sours. We can do anything.
Or root
And-
beer too.
Yeah, and Millstream root beer. I mean, kids, everybody
kids.
loves the Millstream root beer. And then we can also, it's not limited to just beer. We can do Moscow Mules. We can do mixed drinks. We can do anything.
Awesome.
And so we can help you. We will help you. We can help you customize your menu for you. So whatever your vision is, and then we'll help guide you, because what you don't want at your wedding is a full service bar. You don't want top shelf liquor with 20 options, because people are never going to get through. You want a reasonable selection. 4 beers, a pop, and then 2 mixed drinks really is going to help things flow.
Right.
So
And
set
takes
up-
a lot of stress off your shoulders,
Right.
again, to help them out.
Yeah, and so have 2 signature drinks that are easily pre-made. The guests are served quickly. People are drinking, and everyone's going to be happy.
Right.
But yeah, it's
And of course, the obvious questions, just to make sure, fully licensed, fully insured, and when you get into alcohol, mobile stuff like that, there's some laws.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got all the right documentation and all the stuff that goes along with that as well. So the couple doesn't have to worry about anything.
couple doesn't have to do anything. We'll carry the liquor liability for the event. We can do cash bar, which we can do cash bar. We do hosted bar. We can mix and match. So whatever your budget and the experience that you're looking to have, we can help curate that. But yeah, we've danced with the state, which was fun. I had 2 state agencies giving me conflicting answers.
No, wait, the government?
Yeah.
Not giving you exact answers?
Well, actually, I think it was the same agency giving me different answers. One was saying I'm absolutely right. The other person is telling me I'm absolutely wrong. And then I CC'd them on the same email going, figure this out. This isn't that hard.
They're in, office doors were right next to each other.
Cubicles were next door going. And so the issue was, and we're new to the bar game, we are a mobile bar.
Right.
Technically, there is no mobile bar license.
Right.
Our license is for a physical address. We then have to transfer our license to wherever we're going.
Sure.
So part of that questionnaire we had to fill out with the state was, do you have 2 bathrooms and seating for 25? I said, no, I'm a truck. I'm like, I explained them from day one what I was doing, what I was wanting to do, gave them examples of other businesses in the state that were doing exactly what I'm doing. Well, do you have bathrooms and seating for 25? Go, no, denied. Like, what do you mean denied? And so then around and around, and then we figured out what where the
truck is going
miscommunication.
to a
They're
place
going.
that has
The
those
state is
things.
going to have to
So,
make some adjustments because this is a new trend, and it's a very. I think it's a very very cool trend. You know, one of our previous podcast was bar candy,
Bar
and
candy,
you know, in the same similar vein that they do a little bit more of kind of specialty drinks, signature drinks that she does. It completely different kind of presentation. Kind of goes back to the that you don't have competition because it fits to different styles of people. You know,
Right.
she's got an entire different style than
Yep.
you guys have.
Yeah.
But it's that service which I think is unique, it's new, it's growing.
Yep.
I think it's awesome. And again, just in case you missed it, it's not limited to just their venue. It's not limited to just Koru Berry. You can have this literally anywhere in the state. You guys can travel. You know, obviously there'd probably be some travel charge involved, when it comes to pricing and stuff like that, but that's all things you can talk about, with them, and you can reach them. They have their own listing on ourstressfreewedding.com for that as well. You can go in, if you go to our, your wedding professionals, just type in the word hops in the search and it will come up right away because you're unique in the way that no one else has the word hops
No one else has
on the entire platform. So you can see their listing. And again, it's just a matter of going to contact us, whether you are registered on the platform or not. You can contact them. You can get details from them. You can reach out to them, talk to them through there as well. If you are on the platform, you can take advantage of some of the other really nifty little things like messaging them through your messaging service, which is up here, or if you're on your phone, you can call them right away from there. You can save them to your favorites if you want to go back and review and look a little bit more at them in more detail. There's all kinds of different options to you on the platform to reach out, to talk to them. And man, I couldn't stress enough to reach out and talk to you guys on either level because wow, this is cool stuff.
Should they text
Oh.
this one too?
yes.
Ooh, text. So yep.
Uh-huh.
So when you click on the phone part,
please.
the number comes up. Text the number. Deda is not a phone conversation
My hand
person.
goes numb, and then I start freaking out.
That's all right.
Just not
The
good.
other thing you
Just
can do,
text
just
me.
go right here, contact us and just send the email that way.
Yep.
Just initiate that first contact and they will take it from there. You guys can get together and talk in detail. And seriously, if you are looking for, and this is actually an important point. So this is big with venues at 22, and we're even getting into 23, is you get that COVID push. Yep, 24. I know. And this is what a lot of couples don't realize is, remember 2020 got wiped out. That year doesn't exist, right? So 98% of the couples that were planning on 2020 didn't
21.
get their day. So they got pushed to 21. So all of the couples that were originally planning on 21 got pushed to 22. So all of our couples that are planning, this time of year is when you start getting I'm thinking of my, September, October, November wedding of 22. And you're already shaking your heads. Exactly.
even getting that in
Same thing with
23.
us. It's like, nope, sorry, we're booked. So if you are planning your wedding and you are looking, to start planning now, you might want to be thinking more 23, even into 24, because there is such a push from everything that got canceled in just 1 year, a year and a half, really, that you really need to add a little bit more time to your planning process. And by finding, especially your venue first, a lot of people look venue first. If you want to look at a place like this and you fall in love with the pictures, or you listen to this whole show and you realize, wow, these are people that I want to be part of my wedding day, you need to start planning for the future for that. Now, one option that a lot of couples are moving to is farther into like the winter months, like into December, or are looking at Fridays, or even we've had some that are Sunday weddings. Are you guys available to other days of the week, or are you pretty much strictly a weekend gig, or how does that work?
If the sun comes up, we're willing to party. It doesn't matter. We've done Tuesday weddings, Thursday weddings. Our most popular package, another thing that sets Koru apart from a lot, our most popular package, you get all day Friday and all day Saturday.
Really?
So from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense. From a client perspective, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
You come in, you set up, you decorate, rehearsal, dinner. You walk away Friday night, you come in Saturday, and everything's ready. You walk in and you're
just
ready to
enjoy
go.
the day.
There's a little bit of a bump in that price to have it on Friday, but not what you think. I mean, it's comparatively, you will get both days at Koru for the same price you're getting single day events at most other venues.
Oh, that is huge.
We could get into why our prices are what they are, but it has brought our ideal clientele.
Sure.
We figured out how to get rid of the people we don't want. In business, you have clients you don't want. We figured out how to get rid of both of them.
Sure.
And so we've priced we're priced to bring in our ideal clientele. So yeah, we can do single day Friday, single day Saturday, single day Sunday. We can group any 2 days together. Friday weddings are amazing. So back to your original question, do we do odd days? Yes,
Sure.
we do. And each day has a unique experience, provides a unique experience. So if you're envisioning your wedding, I want a party, but I don't want all the formality of the party, the long ceremony and this and that and that. Fridays are amazing.
Right.
Because it's a later ceremony, because people have to get off work. So now your ceremony is probably 6:30. You're skipping a cocktail hour, going straight into food service, straight into dancing, and people are gone. Yes, you're going to go till 10, 11, even midnight if you want to. Those are all possibilities at Koru. But it condenses that day, makes it a little more shorter, a little sweeter, more of a backyard feel.
Yeah.
If you want that traditional wedding feel, all the pomp and circumstances, Saturday's your day.
Right.
It just is. Saturday is the day to be able to pull that off.
Right.
But then if you want something a little bit more relaxed, back to that backyard party feel, Sundays are amazing.
fun.
Because Sunday, without saying it, says, hey, we are not partying all night long.
Right.
Because you got to go to work tomorrow.
Well,
and you're leaving.
one of the fallouts from COVID is, I had mentioned earlier, like the Iowa average is about 2.25.
Yep.
That was pre-COVID, and it's starting to come back a little bit. But right now, it's close to half that. You're right around like 100, 125. So for that smaller kind of intimate feel, a Friday or a Sunday may fit you better if you're looking at a slightly smaller total guest count kind of day.
Yep.
Now, when you're getting that, the 225 and up to that 300, you pretty much need the Saturday.
Yeah.
You pretty much need the space, you need the time. But if you're thinking a little bit smaller, a little bit simpler, and a lot of couples are going with that simple, do you yes, good kiss, you're married, and we move on.
Right.
So
Let's go
it's
drink.
short, short, sweet, and simple. So there are other options, and if you're on the fence about that, if you're not sure which direction to go, I guarantee you, a simple text to Deda and a simple conversation with Neil will answer those questions for you, or at least help you make the right choice down the road.
Yep. And we'll be happy to talk to you about your vision and what you want. And like Sean said, the average is 2.25, which is great. It's a nice, solid number from the experience that we have and the experience for our couples. Really, 150 and down is the way to go. At 150 and down, you have a shot to at least say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
You're at 300, 400, 500. You are not saying hi to everyone, which doesn't matter necessarily.
Or you get lost in your own reception.
Yep. And then the other part is most people have a budget. So they have a food. So take that budget divided by 300. Or take that budget divided by 150. The experience, this is another thing that was brought to my attention by DJ, is the vendors, the professionals that you hire is an investment you're making back into your guests. So with a smaller guest count, you are now able to invest more into your guests and the experience that they're having. You have 300 and your budget is 5,000. It's bologna sandwiches for everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is fine if that's your vision.
Right.
But those are all things to consider. What is my budget? What is the experience I want to provide? And then play with your guest list, because most couples don't really want that 300, but mom's got to invite all of her church friends and your second cousin
You're really
you haven't
throwing
seen.
Mom
and
under the bus.
Okay, Dad wants to invite
Oh,
his
you should hear
barber.
us with Bob.
All right.
Yeah.
Last episode we picked on a Bob the
A Bob.
entire time.
So
he's
the
kind of our-
parents are the couple has a set
Right.
list of people who they actually want to be there,
Right.
and then the parents get a hold of the list. Oh, you got to invite them. I don't even know who they are. Well, you have to invite them. Why?
We always talk about there's 6 groups of people at every wedding. There's the bride's family, groom's family, bride's friends, groom's friends, the friends the two of them have gained since they've been a couple, and then the 6th group, that's the parents' friends. The couple may not know them, but they all show up with gifts, so it's
Right.
good to have them there.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and it's true. It takes on a life of its own very, very quickly. You know, it's
Yeah.
very easy to go from we're thinking 50 people, 500. You know, I mean, it can jump very,
Right.
very easily.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's it's awesome. I mean, this has been such a great. I love it. So I always have a question that I always ask every vendor after we have a chance to chat. So I just want to. I'm gonna, and I think I know the answer. This is way too obvious, just based on our conversation. But the scenario that I want to paint to you guys as kind of a closing question is there's a couple that has gone through the initial tour with you guys. They love it. They love your venue. They love the animals. They love everything about it. And then they tell you their wedding date and you are booked. You cannot help them. There is nothing you can do to book their day. So my question is, what do you tell them to look for in your competition, in other venues? What should they look for when they're looking for their venues?
Well, I would say, to me, it's the biggest part about a bride is like they have this vision, this Pinterest vision of what they want their day to be. And sometimes that price tag doesn't quite fit with the budget of that. So I guess my advice for them would, pick a venue that's not going to throw you over the edge. You can make a venue if it's the right kind of venue. We've tried to make it as muted as possible, so it's a blank canvas. So they can kind of do a little bit more with that. But yeah, I guess I would just kind of say stick
Yeah.
with the budget
Yeah,
more
and
than anything else.
the biggest thing is ask lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Some, not all, and so I'm not suggesting because I don't know what specific other venues do. So I'm not hinting at
Right.
Deda's Bar and Grill makes you do this, this, and this. I don't know the policy specifically of all the other venues. Ask what the add-ons are.
Mhm.
What are the hidden fees? What are the restrictions? One that I love that just blew me away, their first year doing a tour, someone looked at us and go, do we have to clean the bathrooms when we're done?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
I was like, I can add that into the contract.
Do you want to?
I can make you clean. They said a venue that they had toured. Part of the requirement was that they clean the bathrooms at the end of the night.
Wow.
Being 4 full years in, I can see why a venue would require that. I can see where they would have had issues and why that would be required.
Yeah.
Just ask questions. What are your restrictions? What is there heat? Is there air? We were just at a wedding, not in Iowa, and the venue website said seating. We have seating for 300. We can comfortably seat 250.
Mm.
Very nice. We walk in being the wedding professionals, and it was family, so we walked in on the Friday and looked around and go, what's the guest count? Like 265. Where are the rest of the tables?
Oh.
We're like, no, this is all the tables we have. I go, you have tables for 180. The guest count is 265.
So not just
And
one
so it's
table.
digging
Right.
into, it's not, well, the website says seating for 300 seats, because to
Right.
me, when it says seating for 300 seats, that means tables to go with it.
Right.
Or can comfortably seat 250. To me, that would mean they have at least tables for 250.
Right.
They didn't. And no one else caught it, but this is literally what we do.
Right.
So I walked in and I go, wait, this doesn't feel right. And I quickly figured out what the problem was. And then we came up with a solution. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
mean, I can't think of any venue that's a jerk, and I don't know them all.
Sure.
So I'm not like, oh, avoid this place. It's not that.
And I'm
Yeah.
not asking
Yeah.
who to avoid, but it's kind of going on what we've been talking about is finding the one that just that fits you. I mean, asking questions
Right.
is absolutely crucial. You're 100% right, and you brought up some very good questions that never crossed my mind. Like cleaning the bathrooms.
Yeah.
that's a new one on me.
Yeah.
But finding either the event manager if you're in one of the bigger kind of corporate places, or the owners, and finding that ability just to shoot the shit with them.
Yeah.
Just to talk with them.
Yeah.
I think is huge.
And you if you can get them away from the professional scene.
Yeah.
Like it's not uncommon for us. The Hops and Hot Rods truck sits out at the venue. It's not uncommon for us to pour a beer and just sit and chat with our couples after the tour. Well, now you're really starting to see the genuine, the authentic Neil and Deda. You're going to see, oh, this isn't a facade that they're putting on. This is, who they are. So if you can pull them away from the professional setting and just chat with them, that you're going to start to see. And I would imagine the only thing I can liken selecting a wedding venue to is house shopping. You can almost walk in instantly and go, yep or no. After you're through the front door, you're going to have an idea if this is the right place for you. You may be wrong. It may warm up to you, or it may not. But really trust your gut, and really, does this meet my expectations? I really wanted an outdoor ceremony. Do they have outdoor ceremony space? I really want 250 people. Well, max capacities too. So go through that checklist that you have for your vision and your dream, and you'll just have an idea. And to your scenario, to play the devil's advocate almost, or to reverse your scenario of they have a date, they come to Koru, it's not available. Find the venue first.
Don't
then
pick
the
date
date.
first. Yeah.
If the venue matters, find the venue. Then find a date that will meet your expectations.
We had a bride. This was like 2015-ish. Booked us 3 years in advance, and back then that was. I mean, nowadays 3 years is kind of normal-ish.
Yeah.
But back at the time, it was way like really. I even asked her at the time, like, "Are you sure?" And I'll never forget her exact words were, "Yep, that's my wedding date." And then the part that cracked me up was, "He doesn't know that yet, but that's the day we're getting married." And I never had the guts to say should have been the follow-up question is, does he know he's engaged? I never quite had the guts to ask it,
Right.
but they made it to the big day,
Yep.
and everything, happily ever after. And the cool backstory to it was that particular date was her grandfather's birthday, and that was the first day that fell on a Saturday.
Yep.
And it was very important to the bride to have her wedding day on her grandfather's day.
Yep.
So there was a method to the madness, which was absolutely beautiful. But I remember at the time, I'm like, oh, he doesn't know that yet.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that would be the caveat
Yeah,
to that.
That was special to her.
We had a Tuesday wedding, and I thought, odd,
Sure.
Tuesday, whatever. Got talking to the couple. It was their grandparents' anniversary.
There you go.
And so that's why it was a Tuesday wedding. The day mattered. And if that's the case, fantastic.
The venue
There's
won't matter as much.
Yeah,
Right.
the venue won't matter as much as because the day is so important.
Or
to
it just
you.
takes just a little bit more planning kind of in advance
Right.
for that to
Yeah.
have everything in place.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys have been a blast. Like,
Thank
seriously, we could talk all day long. Thank you so much for making the drive up. I know Homestead's a
Absolutely.
bit of a hike from where we are here in Cedar Falls, and I
All right.
really, really appreciate that. This has been wonderful.
It's been great.
I love it. Best thing you can do if you like the show. What should you do, Andrew?
Like and subscribe.
I'm gonna get him a shirt.
Yeah.
He's the like and subscribe guy. It's button. See, we need a
I
button.
need a button.
There's
yeah.
I told him at the beginning when we started all of this, I have a tendency to ramble. I don't know if you've noticed that. That we need to get like a buzzer button. It's the shut up, Sean button.
Cut the mic.
Cut the mic. Nah, I got the control over here. That's why I keep it on my side. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. This is the OurStressFree.com show, TV show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. We really appreciate you guys watching it. You should like and subscribe. It's wonderful. You will get good information. We've got some amazing vendors on the platform. You should really take a look at it. Strongly recommend. Next show is going to be fun. We've got someone new that we have not. We've covered a couple of venues now. We've got a couple DJs that we've spoken with. Next show is Jake Buss from Marathon Videography, based out of Charles City. Videographers, I'll tell you what, this is going to be an amazing conversation. First of all, I picture the first part of the conversation is him heavily critiquing everything we're doing on this podcast. Everything. And Jake's a friend of mine, so I can say that in all confidence. He's going to rip us to shreds. But having the right videographer to capture that moment is huge. And there's a lot of really subpar videographers out there, and there is a handful of really, really, really good ones. The equipment matters, the timing matters, the communication matters. There is so much that goes into just beyond, yep, I got a camera. No, there's a lot more there, and Jake's going to go into that and talk about it. And we've worked with him with Ultimate Entertainment.
Yeah.
We know how good he is. It's going to be a great show. Definitely like and subscribe. Then you know when the show's coming up. Or go to either ourstressfree.com, ourstressfreewedding.com. Let me say it right.
Yeah.
Go to ourstressfreewedding.com, go to podcast. You will see upcoming shows there. If you go to ultimateentertainment.cc, you can also see all of them there. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and have a stress-free day.